This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pets Mean Business on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Dustin McAdams. Thank you so much for joining me. It's great to be back. Feels like it's been way too long. Been on a little bit of a hiatus and crazy busy. And speaking of busy, I just returned from Global Pet Expo, which, if any of you are not familiar, is the biggest trade show in the pet industry. So I got to see a week's worth of some really cool stuff, all the latest and greatest in the pet industry. And I was also involved with my company Pupjoy in a really cool process. It was the Pet Care Innovation Prize, which is put on by Purina, Active Capital, and Cultivation Capital. And they started out with a group of a couple hundred applicants and narrowed it down to 5 finalists. And when I was down there at Global Pet, we got to go through a whole pitch process, and it was a lot of fun. And my guests today were one of the 5 participants in that contest with us, and they are the founders of a company called AnimalBiome. AnimalBiome is really cool. It's an innovative company that helps, I'll put this in layman's terms and let them explain it a little better, but improves the gut health of animals through genetic level data, diagnostic tools, and therapeutic remedies. So the 2 founders that are with me today have really impressive backgrounds, and I want to read you their bios. So the first is Holly Ganz, and Holly is a microbial ecologist, and she's got an undergraduate degree from George Washington University. She's got a master's from Scripps Institution of Oceanography, and she's got a PhD from UC Davis. So ton of educational background. She was also a postdoctoral fellow at UC Berkeley. Prior to creating AnimalBiome, she studied microbes in dogs and cats at the UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine and the UC Davis Genome Center. And her co-founder, Kari Goodman, is a data scientist who studied biology at the University of Montana, also got a PhD and postdoc at UC Berkeley, and she did that in evolutionary biology and did the Insight Data Science Fellowship. So an impressive couple of guests with me today. So we'll be right back to chat with Kari and Holly right after these messages.
You know that feeling when you go to clean the litter box and it's a complete disaster? Yeah, we've got you covered. Introducing World's Best Cat Litter Zero Mess, the advanced litter that gives you 2 times better clumping and more odor control with less litter. Zero Mess combines the concentrated power of corn with super absorbent plant fibers. Translation, scoop once and you're done. Find it at a pet store near you and save $2. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Pets Mean Business on Pet Life Radio. With us now are Holly Ganz and Kari Goodman, the co-founders of AnimalBiome. Hey, you two. How's it going?
Doing great.
Thanks.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's good to have you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so I got to meet the 2 of you, and it's been a lot of fun going through this process with the Pet Care Innovation Prize. Tell us a little bit, so everybody's got some context. First, what is AnimalBiome? How long have you been around, and how did the 2 of you specifically get involved in the Pet Care Innovation Prize?
AnimalBiome is a company that's restoring gut health to cats and dogs through offering testing of the microbiome, which is bacteria mostly, and also fungi. But right now our testing is focused on bacteria that are essential for digestion and other functions in healthy dogs and cats. And we have a gut restoration supplement to help restore microbes that might have been lost through exposure to antibiotics, food additives, and other things. So the next thing was, how did we get started? Is that right, Dustin? Sorry, it's multiple.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry to give you multiple questions. So, how did you launch AnimalBiome in the first place?
AnimalBiome was launched out of UC Davis based on research that I was doing at the Genome Center on the microbiome of cats. I started a citizen science project called Kitty Biome on Kickstarter almost 3 years ago. And I did that in part to fund my research on wild dogs and cats, including cheetahs, and how captivity was affecting their gut microbiome.
Did you say cheetahs?
Cheetahs.
That's pretty cool.
I offered to sequence people's cat poop, and it was a research project. We weren't trying to say that it was a diagnostic tool, but we actually had a tremendous response. Our Kickstarter did really well and raised 8 times what we had initially asked for. And in that process, we started to interact with people about their cats. We found that 20% of them had a cat with a chronic digestive problem, and they were looking for new solutions. They were finding that the steroids and antibiotics and prescription diets that were being offered to them weren't working. So as an academic, starting to interact with people around their pets was actually really exciting. Trying to translate our academic work into something useful. It's just really invigorating. And I was talking to Kari about how I was thinking about applying to an incubator program to get funding for this. And she was similarly interested in making the leap out of academia.
Yeah, so I was working, like you said, in evolutionary biology, using DNA sequencing and looking at how species form and thinking about shifting into the private sector. And there's a lot going on with DNA sequencing and in the private sector. And so it's exciting to talk to Holly and think about, starting this company with her.
So we actually started at the AnimalBiome Accelerator program in San Francisco, where they gave us seed funding and 4 months of business mentoring. We did that about 15 months ago. And then we subsequently moved into incubator space run by the QB3 in Berkeley.
That's pretty cool. And a ton of progress as a new startup company. Kudos to you guys on that. You guys have made a lot of growth in a very short window of time, and hats off to you. So coming out of the world of academia into now being entrepreneurs in the startup world, what's it like?
I would say I like it because we're learning a ton every day, which was very much like my academic research life, but we're actually getting to interface with people around their pets.
I think that's right. Research is different. It's satisfying in a different way. It's got very long-term timelines. And so getting to interact with customers whose pets you've helped is immensely rewarding. We get emails about, my cat's doing so much better. Thank you. I didn't think there was a solution for this. And that's just, it means everything to us and keeps us going. And so that is one big difference between sort of academic life that's detached from providing solutions like we're doing now. We are learning a ton every day, and that was something we were doing in research, and that was one of the really fun things about it, like marketing.
Yeah, I was actually actively involved in science communication out of UC Davis as well, and that has actually been very valuable here. We're basically continuing to educate people about what the microbiome is and how it can be maintained and restored.
That's a good opportunity to pause and educate a little bit. What is the microbiome?
Yeah, so microbiome it's all the microbes that live on and in us, and the ones that live in our guts do a lot of work for us in terms of digesting our food and helping with our immune system. And so if you're missing certain taxa, if you're missing some of the microbes that are good for us, then you can get sick. That's true for humans, and it's true for cats and dogs because they're mammals like us, and so they have a similar physiology. And so in our work, we're dealing with the gut microbiome specifically.
And just to explain, the microbiome is made up of microbes, and microbes are bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms.
So when you typically find animals that are having severe issues, is that typically the cause that they are missing a percentage of the microbiomes that they should have to be healthy?
That's a difficult question to answer. What's caused? So we have a test kit so we can look at the composition of gut bacteria, and often we do find that they have a really poor representation of groups that are found in healthy cats and dogs. But I think that usually our customers have tried everything else first. Often they've even had endoscopy or ultrasounds done for things like inflammatory bowel disease. So, it's trying to understand the realm of digestive disorders and what the main causes are is sort of complex. And we would also probably need to understand the host DNA as well, because there's genetic predispositions for some of these conditions. But by the time our customers come to us, they've usually tried everything else. And so we are finding that often it may be the cause.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys see some really tough cases, I'm sure. So I probably have oversimplified this, but it may be good to explain what you guys do on the diagnostic side as well as the therapeutic side. So can you explain a little bit of what a microbiome testing kit looks like and what the process might look like for a customer that's coming to you guys?
Sure. So our assessment kit product, which again, buy from our website now. If you order that, then you receive a box, and in the box is sampling equipment. So that's a plastic vial with a stabilizing buffer. And what you do is you collect a little piece of your poop from your cat or dog, put it in the vial, and then we send you gloves so you don't have to touch it. And then you send it back to us in one of the envelopes that we provide. And then what happens in the lab is that we take that vial and take the poop and then extract all the DNA from the poop and then use next generation sequencing to figure out what's in there. We take all those strings of A's, G's, T's, and C's and match them to known databases of bacteria. And so then we say, these are all the bacteria in that sample, and this is how much of each is in there. And so then we have a report that compares what's in your animal to our database of healthy animals.
So the world of deep science, big data, and poop merged together.
That's right.
Pretty cool. So I should have mentioned, let me do this before we take a quick break. If anyone wants to take a look, and you should, the website is AnimalBiome.com. That's the word animal, BIOME.com. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to chat a little more with Holly and Kari.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Pets Mean Business on Pet Life Radio. With us, once again, are Holly Ganz and Kari Goodman, the co-founders of AnimalBiome. So when we left off there, we talked a little about the diagnostic side of what you guys do. So when you're able to identify the problem that an animal has compared to a database of a lot of healthy animals, then talk a little bit about the therapeutic side of what you guys do.
Okay, so first, it's a supplement. It's not FDA approved. We hope to maybe someday go down that path with sufficient investment. But so for now, it's a supplement, so we can't claim therapeutic benefits. So we're trying to restore gut health. And it's an oral fecal transplant capsule that is made using a proprietary process that allows it to be delivered orally, yet stable at room temperature and maintaining high efficacy. So we're taking material from carefully screened donors who are healthy animals in their prime, who have no health conditions and are taking no medications. There are all kinds of things that could be passed on if you're in poop. And then we use that we put that into our process to create oral capsules. The capsules are given once or twice a day for about 25 days. And we sell them 2 ways. One, we sell the capsules on their own. And then 2, we sell them as part of a system where they get a microbiome assessment of their gut bacteria prior to taking the capsules. And then we have them take a second sample 2 weeks afterwards, so we can see how the composition of bacteria in the gut may have shifted as a result of taking the supplement. We have a written report that we provide of this before and after comparison that allows them to see how their pets compare to healthy pets. And often we find that healthy bacteria that are commonly found in the vast majority of healthy dogs or cats are introduced as a result of this oral supplement.
And I'm sure the answer to this varies, but generally, what do you see in terms of a time frame for an animal to be receptive to it and to start to see improvement on any of the conditions they're experiencing?
How quickly a dog or cat responds to our oral supplement is variable. In the beginning, we had some that responded within days. And then when others tried it later and found that it took several weeks, they were disappointed. So we typically tell people to expect that it can take several weeks, and the changes can actually continue after they've finished the full course of capsules, because basically what we are doing is reseeding the gut microbiome with bacterial spores that are then going to colonize and spread throughout the gut and interact with other bacteria in the system. And this process can take even a couple months.
Gotcha. So I had the luxury of hearing you guys present a couple times, and I know when we were down there in Florida, you told a story about a specific cat, Marigold. Do you mind telling that story? Because I think it's a good illustration of how severe of issues that some of the folks that come to you are experiencing.
Sure. Love to tell the story of Marigold. Marigold was the first cat to try our oral supplement. She was adopted from a local animal shelter at midlife and had developed chronic diarrhea in the shelter as a result of some medication that she was given there. Her pet parents said that the diarrhea was sometimes so bad that it would leak out of her body uncontrollably. And even though they tried everything, special diets, antibiotics, steroids, this problem persisted. And so they were forced to keep her in a small part of their apartment. When we developed this oral supplement, her pet parents were eager to try it. Marigold was the first cat to take the oral supplement, and her pet parents reported that within 3 days of her starting, I think it's with only a single capsule per day, her diarrhea went away, and she remained in remission for more than a year.
It's a great story. And it's crazy to think, especially with an animal that's been through all sorts of conventional methods for trying to diagnose and deal with stuff, that you guys were able to do something that quickly. So super cool on that. And as much as I love using the word poop over and over, let's shift gears a little bit out of the science of this into kind of the prize with the innovation, or the Pet Care Innovation Prize, as well as where you guys are going with the company. So what do you think of the entire process? We got to go through this together over the last couple of months with the Pet Care Innovation Prize. What's been the big takeaways for you guys?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I think prior to being involved in the Pet Care Innovation Prize, we felt like a microbiome company that worked with pets. And now, I feel like we're more integrated into the pet industry, just through having been introduced to other companies and through the whole process being in St. Louis. So I think that was valuable and enlightening to sort of learn what's going on in the industry.
It's impressive to see the operations at Purina and the degree to which they invest in R&D.
It was. And just for all the listeners, so in the reference St. Louis, one Purina is located down in St. Louis. All of us that were involved in this went down a couple months ago for what they called a boot camp, where we got to spend a lot of time understanding some of the pieces and parts of Purina, getting to see their innovation center, talk to a number of people that were experts ranging from finance to e-commerce, a whole host of areas. And we also, as kind of a cohort in a group, got to work with one another and some experts to really kind of hone the stories around what we do and, prepare ourselves for presentation. So I agree. I think it was a really wonderful process. I've been really impressed with Purina as well as Cultivation and Active Capital that have been involved with this. And then I believe for the two of you, this was the first foray into global pets and how massive the pet industry is, correct?
Yeah, we've never been to global pet before. I mean, pretty massive pet parent, so I try to keep up with all the latest and greatest things by visiting fancy stores like Pepjoy online.
Holly considers herself a professional level pet consumer.
Consumer for pet products. I was lucky enough to have wonderful pet stores in my neighborhood.
It's amazing to me just how big that show is. And especially when you see all the new products coming to market. So if for anyone who hasn't seen pictures or hasn't been there before, I would approximate it as roughly 2 football fields of a trade show format for everything you can imagine in the pet industry. And did the two of you get to walk quite a bit of the show and see the various areas?
Yeah, I'm hard pressed to think of a company whose products I know and love that wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty cool. So what's in store for 2018 for the two of you in AnimalBiome?
We are closing a seed round of
awesome.
$1 million. And
congratulations.
We'll be pushing hard on our milestones towards a Series A round in October. So we're finally going to be able to start to really spend some money on marketing and grow the team. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, so hats off. I've been through some of that myself. I know going through a fundraising process can be very time taxing away from what you're doing on the business. So congratulations to what you guys are doing on that. So the other thing is going that quickly from a seed round into an A round is a sign of a lot of growth and a lot of growth to come. So what's been kind of the decision criteria for you guys on the timing of when you take in money and sounds like marketing is a big part of what you're going to do, but where do you use that to slingshot the business?
Well, to be honest, we don't want to take on more capital right now because we really expect that our valuation is going to go up a lot. So
Sure.
we wanted to stop taking on more until the next round.
That makes a ton of sense, and I believe you will. So big plans for marketing for the coming years. Are you guys still in some product development mode as well?
Yes, we're going to be doing some additional testing that we've been really wanting the resources to do, both viability testing, do some testing, more controlled studies on efficacy. Even if we can't claim that it cures things, we're still going to test it. And also some product formulation testing as well.
Cool. So this is a great format for reach out. If there are any particular types of companies you would like to talk to for any reason, partnering or anything else, this is probably a good format. There'll be a lot of listeners from a lot of areas of the pet industry. Anybody you guys are looking to make connections with over the coming year?
Absolutely. We have been talking to some companies that make probiotics using fermentative processes. We're looking for other potential partners in that space who will help us scale our product.
Cool. Anything else? Anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to make sure we cover?
We are definitely looking for additional investors. So feel free to contact me, Holly at AnimalBiome.com, if you're interested.
Perfect. And don't forget, their website is AnimalBiome.com. Go check it out. Some really cool stuff from a couple of really nice people. I feel very fortunate I got to meet the two of you, and I sincerely wish you all the success that I'm sure is going to come. So with that, we're going to call it a wrap for today. I'd like to thank the two of you for joining me. I'm sure it's been very educational for everyone. And of course, I would like to thank my producer, Mark Winter, for doing the wonderful things he does to make this show possible. And as always, you can reach me with any questions. My email is dustin@pupjoy.com. That is PUPJOY.com, @pupjoy on all major social media and online at pupjoy.com. So my friends, happy tales until we meet again.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.